In the headlines, 15 Boko Haram fighters surrender in Borno as troops intensify operations. 2-story building collapses in Lagos. Zamfara speaker loses millions in devastating house fire. And on a foreign scene, Chad devastated by widespread flooding. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust Television. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now moving on into the stories for the day. 15 members of the Boko Haram terrorist groups have surrendered to the Nigerian army on Sunday. A statement from the Nigerian army said it conducted an operation in the Agwata region of northeastern Borno state against Boko Haram. The statement indicated that 15 members of the group surrendered during the operation and their camp was destroyed. Boko Haram, which has been active since the early 2000s, has carried out mass violence since 2009, resulting in the death of tens of thousands of people. Since 2015, the group has also conducted attacks in neighboring countries, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. A suspected ammunition courier, Zanianu Abdullahi, have been arrested in a successful security operation along the Anka-Bagega road in Zamfara state while allegedly transporting ammunition. The arrest was carried out by troops in collaboration with the Zamfara State Community Protection Guards following a tip-off from local residents regarding suspicious movements in the area. According to security sources, Abdullahi, who hails from Shinkafi local government area, was intercepted at a snap roadblock set up by the security team. During the search, he was found in possession of 35 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition concealed in a wrapper. Preliminary investigations have indicated that Abdullahi was en route to deliver the ammunition to an individual identified as Wadata in Bagega town. Authorities have placed the suspect in custody and are intensifying efforts to apprehend Wadata and any other individuals potentially connected to the case. A 2-story building has collapsed on Amusu Street in Orile, Iganmu area of Lagos State. The building collapsed on Monday morning as people were about to start their business activities for the day. A video of the building as it went down was posted by a media executive and blogger, Samuel Olatunji, on his Instagram page. It could not be ascertained the number of people in the building when it collapsed. However, a statement by the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency response team said no casualties were recorded during the incident. Still in Lagos State, residents are urging the federal government to adopt a regional system of governance, believing it could curb corruption and boost development. They argue that greater state autonomy would allow for more effective solutions to local challenges and drive progress nationwide. Frustration with the federal system is growing, with many believing it stifles innovation and deepens inefficiency. Could regional governance be the key to unlocking Nigeria's potential? Well, let's take a look at the report.
Lagos residents are calling for a return to the regional system of government, believing it to be the solution to Nigeria's corruption crisis. They argue that the system once practiced during the era of Chief Obafemi Awolowo was highly effective in promoting development across states and regions. Speaking to citizens in the Abulegba area, many urge leaders to reinstate regional governance, saying it as the best way to combat corruption and drive sustainable development nationwide.
They want to go for the higher position. So it will reduce so many things like corruption. Then you will focus on what you have in your region, on your region, to develop your country.
The regional government should open more doors for citizens of Nigeria and the youth, so everything will be better, because this government that we are doing now is more worse than what we think about. So that one should be better for us to be happy with the regional government. I think that one will be okay for us when we have it.
We put our head to corruption, stealing, and all those manners of inequality that is happening. We put our head to it because each government, each state
or issue job. It depends on their own resources, and they will know how to harness it and use it to improve on that aspect, not waiting for money at the end of the month.
Regional government or no regional government, the problem of Nigeria is corruption. So whether you are party regional government or what they call democracy or democracy, whatever they call it, the problem is that the people handling it are very corrupt. Actually, regional government, we will not be able to achieve regional government in Nigeria because of a lot of ethnicity and whatever. And for us to have regional government is the real thing for Nigeria now, in the sense that with this everything of central government, we discover that there is no way this thing can go to the grassroots.
Regardless of whether Nigeria adopts a regional system of government, it is essential for those in power to act with integrity to foster the nation's development. The progress and growth of Nigeria hinge on leaders doing what is right, as the country's most urgent need remains sustainable development.
Still in Lagos, 2 people have died in a multiple vehicle crash at Second Rainbow bus stop along Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in Lagos. A statement by the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency signed by its Permanent Secretary Olufemi Oke on Monday said it received a distress call and activated its state emergency response to the location. Information gathered at the scene of the incident revealed that the MAN truck suffered a mechanical failure at high speed, lost control, crashing into other vehicles. Unfortunately, 2 male adults lost their lives in the incident, while several others who suffered various degrees of injuries were attended to by LASMA bus. Properties worth millions of naira was on Sunday destroyed by fire at the Gusau home of the Speaker Zamfara State House of Assembly, Iganmu Morki. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the House of Assembly, Bello Modaro, no casualty was recorded. While reacting, the Clerk of the House, Alhaji Muhammad Aliyu, expressed shock on behalf of the Assembly and its staff, describing the incident as a tragic calamity. Aliyu described such an incident as something destined by Allah and prayed to Almighty Allah to avert its future occurrence. He extended the sympathy of the entire honorable members and staff of the Assembly to Moriki and his family, the entire people of Zurumi West constituency, and the Zurumi local government areas over the incident. While reacting, Moriki thanked Allah for no casualties and loss of lives as a result of the inferno. The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency has issued warnings regarding imminent flooding in Adamawa, Taraba, Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, Cross River and River States. The Director General of the agency, Umar Mohammed, urged the affected states to step up vigilance and deploy adequate measures to reduce possible flood impacts that may occur as a result of an increase in flow levels of major rivers. Lagdo is a reservoir located in the northern province of Cameroon on the Benue River in the Niger Basin. The lake covers an area of 582 kilometers square. The release of water from the Lagdo Dam in 2022 caused massive floods in Nigeria, leaving 603 persons dead, 1.4 million displaced, 2,400 injured, 82,000 houses destroyed, and 332 hectares of farmlands submerged. Education is vital for preserving and transmitting Fulani culture across generations. Traditionally, Fulani education relied heavily on informal methods with knowledge and cultural practices passed down through oral traditions, storytelling, and practical experiences. In recent decades, there has been an increasing acknowledgement of the importance of formal education in sustaining Fulani culture. Many within the community now advocate for the pursuit of knowledge as a means to safeguard their rich heritage and ensure its continuity. Hassan Kohli has more.
With estimates from various national and international bodies predicting the extinctions of many tribes and cultures, efforts are underway to preserve indigenous cultures worldwide. The Fulani culture, despite its long-standing recognition, is not immune to these threats. Urbanization and the shift toward modern lifestyles are challenging its existence as many Fulani individuals migrate to urban centers in search of better opportunities and ways to adapt. Nevertheless, some Fulani communities actively maintain their cultural practices during significant events such as weddings and naming ceremonies. These celebrations serve as a vital means of preserving their rich heritage, allowing them to pass down traditions and customs to future generations.
So actually, we do a lot of things to take like measures. We have a lot of measures we take to maintain our cultural heritage. Like during our weddings, we do invite the Fulani ladies and men to come in a traditional attire to come and dance our culture. We use a culture. We even create a cultural day on our weddings. Actually, like Fulani Day, where we will be in our traditional attire, we will bring yogurt, and then we decorate ourselves in our Fulani attire. And someone like me, because I like my culture and language as well, we have a very constant usage of the language. Anywhere you see us, we speak Fulani, we dress in Fulani, and we always identify ourselves as Fulani.
Some Fulani individuals actively call upon their community members across nations to come together and explore ways to preserve their culture. These include promoting the use of traditional attires and utensils in everyday life, fostering a sense of identity and continuity within the community. Such efforts aim to reinforce cultural pride and encourage younger generations to embrace their heritage.
At times, literacy can affect some cultures. Living cultures is another factor, because once you live your culture, you can end into different things. So that is why we have always been trying to call our attention of our Fulani everywhere they are to create skill acquisitions, education, adult and non-formal education to develop our peoples in Nigeria.
It's one of the strategies to promote and to unite the culture, because it's a place where all the Fulanis here will come and meet, discuss and know each other, know some of the cultures, how to promote them, how to come together and discuss and join other languages in order to develop themselves economically, security-wise.
While urbanization and farmer-herder conflict have diminished the pasture lands that have sustained the Fulani for generations, climate change has further exacerbated their challenges. Issues like drought, desertification, and the depletion of natural resources have made it increasingly difficult for the Fulani to uphold their traditional pastoral practices, which depend heavily on access to water sources and abundant grazing lands. These environmental changes threaten their way of life and the cultural heritage tied to their pastoralism. From Gombe, Hassan Koli, reporting for Trust TV.
This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, experts urge immediate action to prevent food insecurity in Nigeria. More news when we return. To stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust Television. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. 15 Boko Haram fighters surrender in Borno as troops intensify operations. Two-story building collapses in Lagos. Now moving on to other stories. Food security is a growing concern in Nigeria, with experts stressing its direct link to national security. Farmers in the northern regions face severe challenges as banditry and insecurity continues to restrict access to farmlands, threatening agricultural productivity. In this report, Trust TV's news speaks to experts across sectors on the looming dangers of food security.
Experts are urging immediate enhanced security measures to allow farmers to safely return to their fields, while government policies aim to restore security and support affected communities. Recent data shows a rise in rice production, a positive sign amidst ongoing challenges. In Lagos State, DCP Martin Nwogo of Zone 2 highlighted the police efforts The police role ensures security operations focused on stabilizing agriculture. Efforts across Lagos and Ogun states include reassuring farmers, especially in Ogun, where tensions with others have been reported. Community policing has fostered collaboration between local farmers and herders, preventing disputes from escalating.
Issues between farmers and the herders, using the community as a collaboration with the community and the civil organizations to encourage the farmers and herders to resolve amicably disputes that could have ordinarily degenerated in crisis. We have been able to use the community policing platform to encourage farmers and the herders to resolve some of those differences. That is why you see that many people are taking to farming, especially in this area, and the crises that we are witnessing in other areas are not happening here within our own zone.
Dr. Timothy Okiowo emphasized that promoting agricultural education and awareness shouldn't be the sole responsibility of the government. He called for a collective effort involving all sectors of society to ensure meaningful progress in the agricultural sector.
So the challenges are in terms of inconsistency in our government policies, poor funding, mismanagement and corruption are issues that are bringing about insecure food situation in Nigeria. One of the best ways to do this is to ensure that there's what we call inclusive policy decision making, involving the local farmers from the bottom top. Secondly, by looking at a proper monitoring and coordination among agencies involved in food production. Number three is about adequate funding, budgetary funding, and eliminating mismanagement in the society.
We need a lot of legislation in terms of protecting the farmers, because as things were going now, well, we may have people that are interested, because the way we are preaching it, we see a lot of people getting interested in farming, but the space to also farm is also another thing, which include security, protection, the road access and all those stuff, the time, the storage facility, and a whole lot that.
By the time we are able to minimize insurgency, people will participate more in farming, especially in those areas where they depend on farming and they can produce in excess. So we have to remove insecurity first for people to be sure that they are safe and then they operate better.
Experts are urging increased awareness and collective action to address Nigerians' food production challenges. With agriculture seen as a key pillar of national development, they emphasize the need for greater efforts to secure the country's future food supply.
The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPCL), Mele Kyari, has revealed that petrol smugglers exploited subsidy loopholes, making around 17 million naira per truck in neighboring countries. Kyari made this disclosure while addressing journalists in Abuja on the government's efforts to deregulate the oil and gas sector. He explained that cross-border smuggling was rampant due to the fuel subsidy. Kyari noted that the same truckload would generate more than 500,000 naira if sold within Nigeria. He further stated that the country has stopped losing such revenue to smuggling since the subsidy was removed, as fuel prices are now adjusted to reflect their true market value. And away from Nigeria, torrential rains have hit all 23 Chad provinces, causing devastating floods. While more than 500 people have reportedly died, thousands of families have seen their homes washed away by the floods. In addition, more than 400,000 hectares of farmlands have been destroyed, compromising food security in a country where hunger already affects more than 3.4 million people. Infrastructure is also said to have paralyzed, with roads and bridges submerged, making access to disaster areas particularly difficult for relief workers. Pregnant women who are particularly vulnerable are taking refuge in makeshift camps without access to basic health care. In response to the humanitarian crisis, 248 midwives have been deployed to provide emergency care, while essential hygiene kits have been distributed to 12,000 women and girls. And in sports, the Minister of Sports, John Eno, has condemned the Libyan authorities' treatment of the Super Eagles team ahead of its second leg match slated for Tuesday in the country. The Nigerian contingent, who were billed to land in Benghazi for the second leg of their 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier against Libya, scheduled for Tuesday, was unexpectedly diverted mid-flight to Al-Abrak, a small airport typically reserved for Hajj operations. The unexpected diversion left the players and officials stranded without any assistance from the Libyan Football Federation, which failed to provide transportation. Reacting to the development in a statement on Monday, Enol said he had reported the incident to all necessary authorities, adding that the focus was the safety of the senior men's team. The minister described the current situation of Super Eagles as an almost hostage situation. The minister stated that he had directed the Nigerian Football Federation president to lay a formal complaint to the Confederation of African Football to take action on the matter. With that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, more programs, and documentaries. My name is Lilian Okazi. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.